All right, everyone, we're back. Brand new Integrative Health Coach Success Podcast. I'm Dr. Stephen Cabral, board certified doctor of naturopathy, founder of the Integrative Health Practitioner Institute. Excited to get into one of my favorite fields and topics to talk about, and that is longevity through health-based means. That's basically everyone out there right now listening to this. Whether you are an IHP, you're a personal trainer, you're a massage therapist, you're an esthetician, whatever industry you are in adjacent to the health-based industry, you are going to come head to head with this $8 trillion machine, which is longevity, wellness, coaching, and intervention. And that is what I want to share with you here today, because it's an amazing opportunity to do amazing work with amazing clients. But you have to understand what the different outcomes are that people are looking for and how to add it on to what you're currently offering right now. So that figure I gave you just a few seconds ago is absolutely correct. It is $8 trillion flowing into the wellness adjacent based industry, just based on people wanting to reverse how they look and feel. So we'll get into that, not just how they feel, but also how they look, and allowing themselves to live for maybe another healthy 20 years, as we talk about in high performance health. So this is not just about living in a healthier way. This is literally people paying other people, and we'll talk about the services that are most popular in just a second, to live longer. And it's hard to really understand why, if you're like I was, maybe a 25-year-old personal trainer. You have no concept of what it's like to be 50 years old and maybe have teenagers or kids going into college or whatever it might be, and just thinking about like, wow, I want to see my kids really grow up, have a family, be able to see my grandkids, be able to maybe retire in a little bit, enjoy some years after all the work that I put in. Like, it's not even possible to fathom that. I know it wasn't for me. And I feel like I was like an older 25-year-old because I didn't have my health. Like I was still getting well. And so I just realized how short life was, and I still couldn't comprehend it. So, but you have to put yourself then, if you are in your 20s or even early 30s, you have to think about this. Do I want to be able to see, my grandkids, my whatever, or do I want to be able to keep living life at the highest level for as long as I can do it? I mean, I'm a part of all of those camps. I'm in my late 40s now, and I have two daughters that are 11 and 13. I want to see them in 10 years from now graduate from college. Amazing, right? Okay, well, I'll be in my late 50s then. Then, it might be another 10 years before they have a family. Okay, then I'm in my later 60s. Okay, and so it's like, I want to be able to be there then, but also for me on a personal level, I want to be active. I still want to be exercising, moving, working, writing, doing all the things that I love. And so that is the industry, is catering to people who want to live longer and feel better. Like, that's the truth. They want to feel more youthful. So it's not really about like weight loss anymore. It's really talking about, I want to maintain my brain, stay sharp, right? Stay energetic, stay mobile, and stay disease-free. That is what you're now offering. That is what you're selling in terms of services. So here's the nice thing, and we'll talk about this in just a moment, but like, there is no end to that, right? Meaning like, all right, if my job was to help someone lose 30 pounds, I've helped that person accomplish that within 6 months, no doubt about it. Okay, so it's like, well, that's it. Right? It's like, they came to me, they accomplished their goal, life is good, appreciate you. If you have any referrals and you want to send them my way, great, appreciate that. But with the longevity space, people know that it's a journey. So it's what we talk about all the time first. And I've been saying this literally since before I even got my doctorate degree, before I started IHP, before Integrative Health Practitioner was even a thing. I would help clients. I would say this, listen, before we get to work on all the fun stuff for high performance health and longevity, we need to help you lose the weight. Because before we help you even go to the longevity, we need to help you get well. But before we help you get well, if you have 30 pounds to lose, we want to help you lose at least 20 pounds of that. Because losing excess weight is not a vanity thing. It's going to help you live longer. It is. Like, it just is, because your disease risk factors go down tremendously when all of the inflammatory, estrogenic, cortisol-based properties of having a lot more adipose tissue are not working against you. If you've gained more weight, you're likely less insulin resistant. You most likely have issues with higher levels of blood sugar, fasting glucose, right? You've got so many other health issues that we just want to help you with that, right? So when you're working with the client, help lose weight, help them get well, then we work on the anti-aging. So it's this like beautiful formula that works amazingly well for people. I talk about it in my new book, Personomics, the end of all disease. Like literally, that is what we need to solve for. So that's part of the relationship. That's what you talk about. And also, you're working with the client every month for years. Like that's the nice thing. And so when I talk about working with, you don't need a ton of clients, working with clients who really want to work with you as well. All right. So let me go into what this means. A couple different niches that's going to be huge is cardiovascular disease, metabolic health, that includes blood pressure, diabetes, etc., cognitive decline, and cancer. All right. So let's use the 4 C's. We're going to call it cardiovascular, cognitive. Metabolic doesn't fit in that, doesn't. We got to figure out another way to make a C out of that. And then cancer, right? So CCM, we'll put it that way, right? So that's how we want to look at it. Like those are the things that you're trying to help. Because, and I've shared this before on my Cabral Concept podcast, if you can fix cardiovascular, the heart disease part, which you can, like high cholesterol, you can fix that. Okay, high blood pressure, you can fix that as an IHP. Type 2 diabetes, you can fix that. Okay, those are the 3 reversible diseases that lead to dying at least a decade earlier, to dying in your 70s versus your late 80s, right? Then after that, there's Alzheimer's, dementia. But remember, if you fix the others, you shouldn't have an issue with Alzheimer's, dementia. But then there's cancer. And so you're going to work also on the preventative-based measures. So keep in mind, people are running their non-contrast MRIs. They're doing their brain scans. They're doing all sorts of different things. But those companies have no coaching attached to it, like zero. So we offer it as part of our concierge coaching, but we're providing the coaching. They just, the client will share their findings. Okay, no problem. Got it. Everything looks good. They're going to keep an eye on this small cyst in your pancreas or small cyst in your liver or whatever it might be. Okay. That's what the annual are there. But what are we going to do now that people are a little bit nervous, especially that they have these cysts? Oh, okay. We're going to work on anti-inflammatory nutrition. We're going to work on exercise. We're going to work on sauna. We're going to do all the things of the de-stress protocol. Yes, absolutely. That's what we're going to do. But all based now on living a long, healthy life. What about the beauty-based space? Okay. There are so many people who are now so much more into microneedling, taking their collagen, taking their zinc copper, doing all the things instead of Botox or fillers, etc. Again, I don't have an issue with people doing any of those things. Like literally zero. I have no problem with that. Many of our clients do. We support them with that. But there are many people who want the more natural alternatives because they're thinking to themselves, okay, I'm 40 years old. Am I going to do Botox for the next 50, 60 years? Maybe they are. Or maybe they're going to work on using gouache, microneedling, facial-based exercises, red light therapy. They're more into that. And that's okay. Or maybe they're doing a combination. Again, I am never one to judge. I help my clients and I meet them where they're at. But there are so many longevity skin-based things that they can be doing, topicals and otherwise, topical peptides, etc., that they may choose to do. And again, we use that in our practice. But also, there's the opportunity to be an IHP and someone that specializes as an esthetician or in skin-based care. That's amazing as well. And that includes hair. Like how many people don't want a nice strong head of hair as they age, and it becomes more and more rare, right? Hair gets thinner, it gets weaker. All right, so we talk to people about getting enough protein, getting the copper zinc they need, making sure they're not iron deficient, which typically isn't later in life. But anyway, to look at that and to look at all the other cofactors. Great. Improving your thyroid. You're going to look at that as well. And then what I would also say is this, is that you stop providing necessarily outcomes, but instead you're offering high performance health guidance, right? Because the goal is, okay, you're going to run your blood work twice a year. You're going to run your big 5 once a year. You'll do follow-up tests on that as needed. You'll run your non-contrast MRI. So you actually put together a calendar for someone during the year. Again, we teach this in High Performance Health, but I'm giving you a playbook, and so you can use this. If you want to go deeper, just go to highperformancehealth.org. You can learn all about the program for average individuals or to become a high-performance coach as well. But what I'm sharing with you is, like, for example, I'm just going to give you mine. I will run my Big 5 labs every single new year, right? Basically in January. Sometimes it's around my birthday in March. That's often what I'll do, but I'll alternate the blood work either way. So last year, for example, I went blood work in January, did my Big 5 labs in March, blood work again in June when I got to Maine. I did my follow-up on many of the Big 5 labs in September. And then I went for I always do my non-contrast MRI, usually in January. And so when you look at that, like, that's just a basic playbook. I have much more to it than that. Like when I'm using specific nutritional supplements, when I'm doing my specific detoxes, heavy metal detox, etc. But this is what you'll walk your clients through. This is what they're looking for. A well thought out, year-round program that works on both preventative-based testing, right? All the labs that we're talking about, as well as preventative-based care. And if there are things out of range, you're working with them on that, and you can let them know that, whether it's an imbalance in thyroid hormones, cortisol, sleep, etc. Because remember, you don't get to live to 100 if your sleep's off. That's just the way that it is. Right? You don't get to live to 100 if you're producing massive amounts of cortisol all day long. Not good for the body, not good for the brain, right? So, and then here's the other thing. Your clients can't work on everything all at once. So your goal is to map out a program for them, their own longevity-based protocol that's based on their unique needs. So month 1 might be tackling nutrition and the detox. Month 2 is layering in their first foundational supplements. Month 3 is really dialing in sleep and walking. Month 4, you're getting more into maybe some body weight exercise. So you're laying out the program, because remember, let's say like someone is in their late 40s or they're 50 years old. Let's just use easy math, right? They're 50. They've got another 50 years to live. Why do they need to rush the process? You're going to work them with this quarter by quarter. You're going to give them those goals, and they're going to implement it month by month on a coaching call. So that's just the basics. That's what I wanted to outline for you. But it is a massive area of opportunity, and the clients are absolutely fantastic. I work with so many of these types of clients, and they're a lot of fun to work with. That's the truth. So hopefully today was helpful. I'm going to give you my 3 big takeaways at ihp.coach/422. And of course, if you want to learn more about our high performance health certification and program, just head on over to highperformancehealth.org. Take care, everybody. Have an amazing rest of the day.